That one guy got arrested, right, or something like that.
Who was that? It's gonna bug me now.
All right, it's live.
All right.
Let's see.
Feeling bugged.
So no, that's when I laugh when people mention the running back situation. I'm like, that's whatever.
It's whatever.
Whatever.
I should probably turn this down.
That was a pretty good thread the other day, though. I had a lot of fun.
Me too.
I had a lot of fun reading it while I was at work. That
I
was
don't
great.
understand like your thought process that
What?
the
There
Saints
was-
aren't
what?
gonna like.
Well, I mean,
They're
apparently,
not. I don't understand.
What is there?
I wasn't
we'll
trying
all
to trigger you
we'll all
guys.
understand it. You didn't. I didn't say anything.
There was
Right.
a lot of triggering.
I
you
said
were-
nothing.
You were just
There was
saying
triggering.
You were trolling.
What was it,
These
trolling?
three are
You
an
were
authority in
definitely
sports
trolling.
talk.
Trolling. It was-
What a
We have-
great time to be alive. The Underground Pub Show on PMVN.
Ingram and some other. Who's the other cats you had?
Yeah,
You
but
got
what
a
happens
million
if
cats?
what happens
Let's
if
talk about
Ingram?
this when the show
What
starts.
You
happens
guys
if
have
Ingram?
18 running backs.
We have like 4.
You have like a quadruple
What
amount.
happens if Ingram gets hurt though, man?
Travaris Cadet.
You, like everyone else, you just go to your next guy, or you grab yourself a free
Yeah,
whatever.
and our next guy is sorry.
Who?
Well, it's not anymore.
So why do you
Tavares
have a bunch of
Cadet.
sorry
Underground Pub
dudes
Show
on your
was
team?
powered by the
He's
Pip
more
and
of a,
K
like, receiving
Multiverse
back.
Network, sponsored
You
by
got rid of
Outback
Pierre
Steakhouse.
Thomas guy.
Dude, Pierre Thomas has been gone forever.
That's your bad. You should. Now you want these silly problems. Has Snake ever drafted someone that was good? That's a lot of silence.
What's up, guys, and welcome to episode 33 of the Underground Pub Show here on the Pimpy K Multiverse Network. My name is Schreiber, and I'm here as always with Bobo and CJ. And yeah, that probably needs to be fixed. Kenny, where the fuck were you on that one, bro?
You don't need to see me tonight, guys.
No, we're fine. He just needs to answer questions like, who's the best Saint that's ever been drafted?
It's
Have
better.
they drafted a good
I'm just
Saint?
doing what Schreiber asked me to do
Have
before
they
we got
drafted
started.
a good
better to
Saint?
be-
Which was what?
heard
Cut
than
CJ out of the equation
Have they
completely?
drafted a
Like-
good
That's what
Saint?
I heard.
That's all I'm wondering. When was the last Saint that was great that actually got drafted? Is there a Saint in the Hall of Fame that got drafted? That's what I'm just trying to remember.
But yeah,
Is there
Ricky
a
Morton
Jackson.
Anderson, he just got
Morton Anderson,
Ricky Jackson.
Yeah.
Ricky Jackson.
Man, we just dove right into
So how
that
long
shit.
ago? God,
He just
you
went in
guys
last
have,
year.
like, old people.
Yeah, we've had
Well-
a long history of being crappy.
Yeah.
So,
43 years of them,
That's what I'm
bro.
saying. You're-
43
I'm not going to
years.
deny that
That's what I'm
fact.
saying. I know the one you have a lot of faith in your draft to pick up good players for your defense.
Well, we
I'm
got
like,
5
God.
picks, so hopefully one of them will stick.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
I mean, ask Cleveland about
And-
that.
Well, we're a far cry from the Cleveland Browns. I mean,
Are you? How far is your cry?
There's
What?
a
You guys
big,
almost picked
six
up,
games.
You
There's
almost
a big
picked up
cry
fucking
distance.
Johnny Cash,
we
man.
no, we didn't.
You almost
Sean
picked-
Payton
he
gave lunch to
came
him.
to the New Orleans and he had a conversation
That
with y'all.
didn't happen. They had brunch during the Super Bowl week, and that was it. There was no meeting. There was no contract negotiations. Sean Payton shot that shit down immediately. That it was almost unheard of that he would be coming to New Orleans.
But it was heard of by many people.
It was
and it
repo-
was discussed.
No, people thought that it was going to happen. Sean Payton shot it down immediately that there was no way that he was going to be signing Johnny Manziel. And that's when we made the bet on who would get signed first, Johnny Manziel or Colin Kaepernick. And I believe Colin Kaepernick still will get signed before Manziel. I don't think either one of them is going to get signed, but
yeah, not until after the draft.
we don't waste time. No, we don't. We just
Yeah.
dove right into that one. So,
We were arguing before the show even started.
no, like,
Well,
literally,
I mean, I was disgusting. They were
like,
arguing.
literally right before I did my opening spiel, these two were talking about something. I'm just kind of like, shut up. But anyways, so yeah, guys, how y'all doing this evening?
Probably better than the Saints' fucking
So
future.
let's you know what, let's just dive into it then. Fuck it, CJ. I guess you're doing all right. All right,
yeah, I'm
anyways.
fine.
So, anyways, we got a lot to talk about tonight, but obviously the big story.
The Saints picked up AP to fix their defensive woes.
And here we go, and let it begin.
Let's see how great
now.
their team will do defensively this year because they have an old man at running back.
Why does one like prevent the other from happening? That's what I was watching. And they're like, no, it's like okay, they signed AP. What about their defense? Well, we needed to replace our backup running back, so we got that done.
But
Why
you
is it
need
like
to replace your backup defense for 3 or 4 years.
so? Who's
They're
in free
still
agency
going
right
to.
now that is so desperately picked up on defense that we're just ignoring?
I'm pretty sure in the past 4 years, defensive players have come through and never been even looked at by Saints. Instead, they get broken people that get hurt in 2 games.
That's not
We
true.
also had a
We picked
terrible
up
cap
Jarius Byrd a few years ago.
And how'd that work out?
Terribly.
That's what I'm saying.
And like,
stop doing bad things.
But it looked like a smart move. And now, and like, here's something I wanted to bring up about that when it comes to just signing random free agents on defense. Unless your defense is already good, it's like one player is not going to make the difference. You need to build a unit.
One player would make more difference than having no players, though.
Okay, well, I mean,
We have players.
the one player
Cameron Jordan.
Cameron Jordan's a good one. Yeah. Sheldon Rankings, he's a promising player we drafted. That was our first
Promising.
He's very promising. He had a good season last year. I mean, he was hurt for the
Has
beginning
anyone
of it.
shared this fucking thing yet before I can share it and put my phone away?
No, I share it.
Share it.
I don't see
Yeah.
it. I didn't
Yeah.
pop up anywhere.
Go
But go ahead.
Hey,
You know
whoa.
what? I'm on that. I need to get off this network right quick. Hold on.
But no, I mean,
Continue.
but no, Sheldon Rankings was the Saints' first overall pick last year, and or the first round pick last year, and he showed a lot of promise. The defense overall looked to improve at the end of the year, and I'm not saying that it looked good by any means, but it looked like it was improving.
Yeah, against teams that were out of it and couldn't care less. You guys are really improved and covered a lot of ground then.
The fact that they signed AP, I don't believe has any. I mean, they signed him for $3 million. They didn't necessarily break the
I
bank
thought
on
it
him.
was 7.
It was 7 if they
For
pick him
2
up for the
years.
2-year option.
I just tagged you on it, so it makes
all
it
right.
Yeah,
I'm
it
about
was,
to share right
it was
now.
7 if they keep him around for the second year. But right now it's actually $3.5 million for the first year that he'll be with us. Not exactly breaking the bank on it. I mean, they were filling a hole that they needed anyways. Defense is still going to be dealt with, or at least I hope it's going to be dealt with. They've got a lot of draft coming up, and I believe they're going to make a lot of moves after the draft. So I don't really see the whole AP thing as that big of a that big of a deal. Other than, I mean, I think it'll work as far as the offense goes. I think there's a lot of promise to be to it. I don't think he's going to see the workload that he's used to in Minnesota. Mark Ingram's the guy over there. He's earned it over the last couple of years, but
Is he the guy? Because they keep replacing new running backs each year. How much of the guy would you feel if every year a new running back
and they all
shows
sit
up?
behind him now.
Yeah.
They all sit behind Ingram.
As of today? Because
We
not
always-
as of last year. Or the year Hightower was there. At one point, I thought Hightower was the starting running back.
Hightower started one game
They
last year.
rotate in and
They-
out.
Other than that, they rotated. Mark Ingram still finished the year with over 1,000 yards rushing. Tim Hightower was the B to his A.
Yeah, the
Like-
Saints have a lot of different packages they use during games. Like if you notice, if you go to a game, they'll have like 3 or 4 players come in and come out. It's kind of like a hockey when they switch their lines.
Yeah.
So they're depending on what play they're going to run, what formation they're trying to get out of it. They'll have different guys coming in and out. I see Adrian Peterson filling in. You know, Ingram's going to be our primary guy, but Peterson's going to kind of like help him out. You know, give him a breather. Be probably like their short yardage guy.
Red zone.
And behind John Kuhn at fullback and not seeing 8-man boxes like he was in Minnesota, I think it's a great move.
Yeah, I
And
like
at the
it.
very worst, they get rid of him next year.
Yeah, I mean,
No harm, no
it's-
foul.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it's $3.5 million. They didn't necessarily break the bank on him or blow their load or however you want to fucking call it. But like, I decided to go there with that one. But but no, I like the move. I think it's exciting. I'm really excited to see what they do with Adrian Peterson. It seems like a lot of people really like the move, and I'm not just talking about Saints fans. Like a lot of sports analysts seem to like the way this move goes. It does reek of a little bit of desperation by both sides. I'll go ahead and be the first one to admit that. AP didn't have a lot of stuff coming his way. The Saints seemed to be the best chance that he had. The Saints needed to fill in that hole at Tim Hightower because they're not going to go into the season with. I personally don't want them to draft a running back. I don't. I mean, if Christian McCaffrey's available, I don't. I just want them to focus solely on defense. With AP being there, now they have Mark Ingram, Adrian Peterson, Travaris Cadet. That's their 3 running backs, as most teams have, is 3 reliable running backs. 1 being your starter, your other 2 being your in case shit happens guys. With AP being a relatively reasonable sign that we got, having him as the backup to Mark Ingram, I'm totally fine with it. Now all we have to do is focus on defense. Because I mean, yeah, the Saints. I don't think AP is going to be the reason why the Saints may or may not, for that matter, do well next season, but it's certainly not going to hurt. I mean, as long as he can stay healthy, I think there's a lot of pluses to having Adrian Peterson on your team. So that's all I have to say about that. I mean, we're also 5 months away from training camp. Like, we still got a while to go. I mean, it's April right now.
That would put us in September, so it's like 4 months.
So yeah, 4 months till training camp. I'm sorry, 5 months till the start of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, we got about 4 months till
You got to be
training.
optimistic about it. All right, it's only like 2.5 months of OTAs. That's the way I look.
I mean,
at
that
it.
is one way to look at it, but I mean,
I will say that I'm sorry to interrupt you.
no, yeah, I was done.
Marshawn Lynch just got signed up by the Raiders. They agreed to a package with the Seattle Seahawks, switching their 5th and 6th round.
Yeah, that too.
Marshawn Lynch is a year younger than AP,
Yeah.
and I haven't heard anybody say he's old. I mean, AP missed 2 full seasons, 1 through suspension and 1 through injury.
No, he came back the year after the suspension.
Yeah, so I mean, like overall, he
overall,
he missed all but 2 games last year.
He missed a good chunk of last season. He only played in 3 games last season.
I mean, he's not our answer by any means, but it's a good piece. It's a good piece.
It's a nice cherry to the sundae. Hopefully, that's the way I'm hopefully seeing it. So
Bobo was drinking a lot of
Disagreeing.
Haterade lately.
clearly disagreeing.
I will say that he has a fantastic shirt on, though.
Oh, the Montgomery biscuits.
Yeah, they sent me a card.
What did the card say?
They thanked me for my purchase.
Oh, that's nice.
It was handwritten.
What, it was handwritten.
Yeah,
So
Really?
but yeah,
that's the kind of
They
time
wrote,
they have over there
"Thank
in
you,
Montgomery right
Christopher,
now.
for purchasing a T-shirt. Have a good one, something along that lines." And it was a lady's handwriting.
They were probably
Pen.
thrilled to see that they were sending a T-shirt to someone that lives in Pensacola.
Yeah,
Like,
probably fun, dude, for them. Yeah, they
little
sent
did
me
they
a
know it was
card.
as a total joke for an online
No, this is no joke.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
pretty fucking dope.
die-hard fan now for the
I'm,
biscuits.
I'm gonna wear it at a game, and it's gonna be interesting.
Well, I will find out when.
I get tickets for the games too, so
Nice.
I'll find out when they're playing the biscuits
we'll,
again.
We'll see what we can do.
Whose job is it to handwrite letters for them?
That's well. Once I wonder who did that. Like, is it the person? Is there like a
Probably
person
whoever
books
runs
it,
their
or,
web
like,
store.
The actual store. Is there a store there that she works in there and just grabs the shirt off the rack and signs a card?
I
mean,
imagine-
I appreciate the effort and appreciation of making a handwritten card to say thank you.
I can't remember the last time I handwritten a card.
Yeah.
Like, effort.
So I mean, you didn't know somebody recently that had a birthday, like or whatever, that you didn't give them a card.
I mean,
Type that
like,
shit up.
I put my name, maybe like a small message, but nothing like.
So you
I
don't write.
signed your crack.
Yeah.
You don't write a message to your mom on your birthday card, like.
Yeah, I usually give her like a card and some dots. It's like a favorite candy.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, movies with The Rock. She loves The Rock.
Dwayne Johnson.
No, he's The Rock.
Oh, he's still the Rock because I thought he was now
Yeah,
officially
you know
Dwayne
that's the
Johnson.
same guy.
Is it the same guy?
The Rock and Dwayne Johnson is the same guy. I didn't
Oh,
even know
well,
that.
I'll be damned. I didn't know that.
I thought they looked like the same, but it's actually the same person.
Well, if you smell what he's cooking, dude, I mean,
Oh, Jesus
don't.
Christ.
I
Smell his
don't
cooking.
ever smell what he's cooking.
Kitchen's too far away.
But yeah, so
God damn it.
So yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, it is what it is. Adrian Peterson now plays for the Saints, and Marshawn Lynch is a Oakland Raider. That one we kind of all saw coming for a while, but
I like that move.
I like it too. I love how well the two sides managed to drag that out right up until this morning. Like I remember we were talking about Marshawn Lynch going to the Raiders at the beginning of this season, right? Like
I think his mind was made up, and the Raiders' mind was made up. It was just if they can work a deal out with Seattle,
Yeah.
which I don't think Seattle was going to hate on the trade. They probably were like, if that's what we want to do, thanks for the Super Bowl ring. Go ahead and peace out. Sorry we didn't run you that last play that one time. Have a good one.
Did you ever see that episode of The League that Marshawn Lynch was in where it was like the very beginning and they were hanging out on the beach and he asked a guy to go throw him a beer and Marshawn was like, just give it to me, I'll go give it to him. He's like, no, man, I'll just throw it to him. He's like, come on, man, I can just walk right over there and give it to him. I got this. Like it was like right after the Super Bowl happened or whatever. Mm-hmm. That shit was funny. I missed that show. The League was so easy to relate to because I've gotten that frustrated over fantasy football before. Not quite like they have, but
I'm still
Did
frustrated.
they film it
It
like
was easy.
during the
It was
season?
easy for CJ to relate because he's so horrible at fantasy.
Did they film it while
I
the
am.
season was going on so that all their jokes will like be really close to something that happened that week, or
I don't know for sure, but they kind of had to because a lot of them were
kinda
right
like
there
South Park
with
type
it.
of thing where it's like they're filming it like literally to the wire.
A lot of
after.
them were pretty
Yeah.
spot on with how that player was doing or whatever.
Yeah.
So I mean,
I never watched it myself, but I was wondering if that's how they did it.
there
I
was
always watched it a season behind on Netflix, so I never knew how relevant
Well,
the jokes were at the
yeah.
time
There-
they originally came out.
there was a couple times I did catch him on not being correct on a few things, which I mean it's they can't do it just completely up to minute. I mean it takes a while to film that stuff. But I remember there was one episode where the character Taco stopped smoking pot and became really smart, and all of a sudden was like threatening to be really good at fantasy. And I remember that week he was talking about how he was going to start Jimmy Graham because they were playing the Patriots in a high-scoring game, and Pete was his opponent, and he was like, oh, shit, you know. And apparently Taco went on to beat him over that move, and Jimmy Graham didn't have a catch in that game.
Oh, yeah.
But he was bragging about how Jimmy Graham was going to do really well against the Patriots in that game. So I imagine I imagine they try to keep it as up to date as possible, but I mean, they've got to have at least 2 or 3 weeks to
it's kind of hard
to keep up to at least get everything filmed and whatnot. But I mean, the show's not on anymore. But it was a great show. I really enjoyed the league.
Absolutely, man. It was fun. It was like a lot of it was improv too, which is nice.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they had a lot of. I mean, Nick Kroll, like that dude, he's becoming like more famous now. Apparently, it seems, and I love that because like he's so fucking goofy and like everything else he does, but he was like semi kind of like the serious one on that show, I guess. Like the other guys are kind of weirdos, but like he was the lawyer that fucking dealt with people and lied all the time and stuff like that. But I mean, if you watch episodes of the Kroll Show, he's really fucking out there on that.
The same Jewish lawyer I've seen in every comedy.
Yeah,
ultimately.
But he does it better. Personally,
he does it better.
He does it better. But I mean, he was really goofy on the and God, I mean, don't get me wrong, Sausage Party was a fucking disaster of a movie, but him playing the voice of the douche almost made up for it. It's because he is kind of a douche in real life, it seems. And the fact that they made him a talking douche on Sausage Party almost saved that movie. It's not savable by any means. It's a fucking train wreck of a movie, but I mean...
Yeah, some people really love that movie, and some people I don't understand it. I appreciate the final scene was pretty ridiculous.
I mean...
And its ridiculousness, but
yeah,
that didn't like make the movie make it worthwhile.
I don't really understand what people thought was going to be great about it. It was talking sausages.
I turned it off.
Hopping around a... I mean, it was silly and at times kind of humorous.
Silly.
Mm-hmm.
I turned it off around the time the douche replenished himself with a juice box. Like I had had enough at that point.
See, that was one of the few scenes I thought was hysterical because, like pretty much anything Nick Kroll was in, I thought was really funny, and everything else, it was like when even when Seth Rogen is a talking sausage or a fucking alien in Paul, he's still somehow the same goddamn person in everything that he's in. Like
he's the same guy.
Like even when he's playing himself.
There's so much spoilers going on right now.
Bubs Harris has a joke about that. That's pretty funny.
I don't doubt that he does because Bubs hates anything that's popular. Like that's Bubs' thing. Like if it's popular, he hates it. Like
okay,
isn't it popular to hate things that are popular?
That is kind of true.
So it's kind of ironic.
That's called being a hipster.
Yeah,
nice.
Exactly.
Yeah,
no, hipster's the opposite. No, never mind. No, it is that way. It is that way. That's the way around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty spot on. I mean,
mustache wax, all that.
Yeah.
And don't forget, if you guys want to chime in on
beard.
any of this, the hotlines are open. 850-907-PMVN. That's 850-907-7686.
Yeah,
Can
absolutely.
we get the chat
over
or is
there?
that not going to happen?
Oh, I got the chat on my phone.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're gonna have to
I
use
don't
the.
want to keep looking at my phone. I get distracted.
You
I'm
guys
not
are the
doing
ones that
show.
decided you wanted to go
Yeah.
to Facebook. It's not as easy to chat through a web browser as it is on your phone.
It's
So
alright.
I would have it up.
But yeah, I mean, if you guys want to chime in on hipsters or Adrian Peterson and Marshawn Lynch and
The
the
NFL draft is tomorrow,
That
yeah.
is tomorrow. It's a big day for 32 young men tomorrow.
Absolutely. First pick, I think it's going to be Myles Garrett.
Yeah, so unfortunately he has to go and play with the Cleveland Browns, which is just a bummer for him. But I mean, honestly, I guess when it comes down to it, would you really fucking care that much? Like,
No, dude, you're getting paid millions of dollars, and you know what?
Here's the thing about Cleveland.
Yeah.
If you're really, really good, they'll trade you next in 2 years anyway.
yeah, exactly.
You'll be after the Patriots.
And going back to the whole thing about how they dragged their feet with the old Skittles thing, and you know, was just trying to get Seattle to clear the way for him to join the team.
Yeah.
You know what the terms were, right? They get our 5th round draft pick next year, and in return we get their 6th. So we basically just swapped their 6th and 5th round. I mean, so it was essentially just it was a handshake of respect.
How
to
do you
just make
do?
it happen? Right.
Thanks.
Exactly.
Let's get this working. Marshall wants to complain, you guys. So let's just do this.
Well, I've heard a lot of reports earlier today that I think at least 4 teams have come out to the Cleveland Browns about trying to trade for their first pick, and apparently their ears are open.
Or they better be.
Do you see something like that happening? Because I mean, I guess
Like a player trade for
yeah,
their
because
first pick?
I guess there's always the threat that if they don't take
Because
Myles
they're
Garrett,
scared of their shitty picks all the time.
I mean that's one thing, yeah. If they don't want to take Myles Garrett or whatever, and they may be threatening to take a quarterback, which other teams definitely need just as bad as the fucking Browns do. I I mean, I don't know.
They're gonna but what will they offer? They would have to offer them a quarterback.
Yeah, or a good running back, I guess, or I don't.
Their running back core is not shabby.
It's not
It's not as bad as their quarterback situation. I know that.
I mean, really, the Browns. It's so tough to be.
Who's that main guy? The guy
Isaiah Crowell.
Yeah.
But, he's certainly not. He's probably the best player on that team.
Yes, he is very serviceable.
He's probably the best player on that team.
Worth a draft pick in later mid-round drafts in the fantasy league. They need a quarterback more than they need anything else.
They need everything else,
they need a lot of
basically.
parts.
They need everything else.
A quarterback is definitely something they keep fucking up on year in, year out.
They can trade down and get Deshaun Watson, probably.
Embarrassingly bad at drafting quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like not even like a funny folktale anymore. It's a fact.
It's so bad. Like whoever has the actual job of deciding how like the draft is going to go for the Cleveland Browns, that job is so intensely bad. They made a fucking movie about it a couple years ago.
Kevin Costner,
and it was actually pretty good too. It really was not a bad movie. And like they made it look like the Browns, like I mean, it was that much of a fictional movie that it made it look like the Browns were actually doing something right.
They made the Jaguars look like jackasses.
Yeah, I know, right? They made the Texans owner look like a fucking douche too in that movie. Like
my friend Drew,
what was it called?
Draft Day.
Draft Day, yeah.
With Kevin Costner.
How did I miss that movie?
Yeah,
it was a good movie.
Shit.
Yeah,
I thought it was good. I liked it.
The Black Panther got drafted first overall, and he was projected to go 15. I don't know the actor's name, but he played Jackie Robinson in 42.
Oh, the guy that plays Black Panther?
Yeah, the guy that plays Black Panther and Jackie Robinson in 42, which is a good movie.
That.
Yeah, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen Draft Day, but like he gets picked first and it throws everything over. And
you're supposed to say spoiler.
Was he not supposed to get picked?
Well, there was
something?
There was like this traditional white All-American boy quarterback that was supposed to be like the sure thing, can't miss.
Yeah.
But like Kevin Costner had his hunch, like, nah, something's going on. So he kind of hoses Seattle, and Seattle's the bad guy basically in the movie.
And they wanted the Black Panther guy.
Yeah, and then the Jaguars are made to be like this schmo face organization that's like, oh, dude, I don't know what I'm doing, and they totally just make them.
Are the NFL teams the real name of their team?
Yeah, it's like
the Jacksonville Wildercats.
It's not like any given Sunday where it's
the San Jose Sharks,
the Miami Sharks,
the Miami Sharks,
or all that weird crap.
It's the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they got a rookie GM, and Kevin Costner totally.
What's his name? Wasn't Roger Goodell in the movie?
I think so.
Just for a quick pause, we can go back to this. But wasn't the uniforms at any given Sunday some of the most horrible looking uniforms you've seen in your entire life?
They were Canadian Football League reject uniforms.
Shite, utter shite. But go back to the movie.
Well, but you know what's funny though? They were you're right. They were absolutely atrocious.
It's like they went out of their way to make them look bad.
But at the same time though, except for the Miami Sharks really looked similar to one particular team in the NFL.
True, they all wear black.
The Oakland Raiders. They were exactly
it's
like
hard
the
to fuck.
Raiders.
I mean, black and whatever is going to look cool.
I mean,
it's hard to fuck that up.
So.
All the other ones were like I think the Texas
there
team.
There was one team that's like
lime green uniforms.
Yeah. Like, what is that?
The Seahawks have the grossest alternate uniforms. Those neon.
Yeah, those are
I
pretty
hate
terrible.
those.
I hated the color rush jerseys that the Saints had last year.
I loved them.
They looked like white Power Rangers, on the field.
I like the Pittsburgh Steelers Bumblebee outfit. I think it's fucking awesome. I would almost buy one of their jerseys.
The Green Bay Packers have some dope ass fucking.
Yeah, they had the same the rugby style.
Yeah,
I like the.
I call those Steeler throwbacks the Panamanian prison outfit. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean they do kind of resemble that in a roundabout way.
I did like the Steelers color rush, the uniforms they had.
I don't remember what that one was.
It was like an all black. I don't know. It just looked sharp.
Yeah.
When I was in
some teams with their colors combination, you can't fuck them up no matter what you put them in.
When I was in Slidell this past weekend, me and my girlfriend's brother, we walked into a Dick's Sporting Goods, and they actually had a whole aisle of the Saints color rush jerseys, and because of how uncertain the team looked at that time, it was 2 rows of it, all of them Drew Brees jerseys, every single one in every single size, not another player different. They were all number 9 color rush jerseys, and for a game that they lost, by the way, last year, and they were like $150 or some shit.
Jeez,
this could have been any jersey then.
Yeah,
I mean,
game they lost.
It was white. They were all white.
It could have been one of 9 games, by the way. Smart ass motherfucker.
All right, so back to the draft. So, do we think Garrett's going to go number 1, or do we think they're going to try trade down? And who do the Niners pick up?
If they don't trade down and everything goes as expected, then I guess
They got
I still didn't need a quarterback. Though,
They got number 12. They can get a guy at 12. They can get
Yeah.
Watson. They get Trubisky. I don't.
Yeah.
Do you think Deshaun Watson will go down to 12?
Yeah.
Think so?
I saw there was a mock today where he went down to the Texans at 25.
Really? Mm-hmm. That'd be a good fit for him. I
Yeah.
would like Deshaun Watson over in Houston.
Texans need somebody.
They do because they're like the best team that doesn't have a quarterback.
Yeah.
Like they seem to.
We're just gonna play on grit. I'm like, yeah, that's cool, and I'll be still a quarterback, man.
Like as bad as their quarterback
We have grit.
Right.
quarterback situation looked last year, they still made the playoffs. Like it was just
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They on grit.
And without JJ Watt for that matter
Look,
too. Like
Grit can't win playoff games.
no, it can't.
feel
I
like
mean, ask the
yeah.
Cincinnati Bengals
I mean,
that shit.
not alone. It can't win playoff games
No.
alone.
Yeah.
You can only get so far, and I feel like the AFC is like the same every year, whereas the NFC is more up and down. You don't know who's going to go in the NFC, whereas the AFC, you're pretty sure it's going to be like the Steelers, the Patriots, the Texans now, and like the Chiefs seem to be making it every year.
Yeah.
and there's like 1 or 2 teams that might slip in, like the Dolphins. Slipped
There's
in
a
last
team.
By the way,
what
I-
does what does
Remember, our phone line is open for y'all to call in and chime in on this NFL
we're
draft.
just gonna
by the
bounce
way.
around with this, I guess. But what do you think Kansas City needs in order to get them over the hump?
I mean,
In order to
is
be
it
a dominant Super Bowl challenger team? Because they're close, I think.
They're very close. They're very close. But here, let me ask you this: are they really sold with Alex Smith at quarterback?
No one can be.
Exactly.
I mean,
I wouldn't be.
He's a prototypical game manager. He's
Get-
not
get-
an elite quarterback. He's a
Exactly.
game
Like I've
manager.
always.
But they keep bringing all these fucking badass receivers. Well, not badass, but these deep threat, quick.
Jeremy
receivers, guys
Macklin's
to
about as
help
good as
out.
it gets as far as
And I'm
wide
like,
receivers
why?
go.
And he never
those
throws over
guys,
5 feet.
why are you bringing those guys in? You need a big, short, squat, fat man to come in there and do fucking dump routes for this guy. You have a team full of tight ends and just have them running
Right.
5 and outs, and then you guys will be okay.
Well, I mean,
I feel like he's scared to throw deep.
I don't know if Deshaun Watson would be a good fit over in Kansas City, but homeboy from North Carolina might work
Yeah.
out for him over there. At least maybe somebody to sit behind Alex Smith for a little while. Like,
Yeah, you definitely have to be thinking ahead with Alex Smith.
Yeah.
Because your team is probably, I think I would say Kansas City's probably had an age problem coming up soon.
the finger's always on the self detonation button when you got Alex Smith as your quarterback. You
Yeah.
know, like
Andy Reid's a terrible time manager too.
Very, very true.
Yeah, but
Very
he's great
true.
at ordering food. But,
He is.
What they need to do though is that team is on a timeline, dude. They're gonna get old soon.
Yeah.
That team's gonna get old really soon. So they need to strike now, or they're just gonna be starting over again for the 5th time in Kansas City.
No,
I
well,
love Tyreek Hill on that team. That guy is
Yes.
money.
He
generally
does
think
well
Kansas
over
City
there.
is a pretty decent all-around team. They're just
Yeah.
lacking some things that people like them would need.
well,
They need a running back.
yes, I was gonna say that. I
They've
mean,
had some great running backs too.
that which is weird too. I mean, with Adrian
Lately.
Peterson and Marshawn Lynch now with new homes, and but nobody's mentioned that. And by the way, LeGarrette Blount might be having a new home. There's
The
talk about
Giants?
him with the Giants. Yeah, but well,
He wants to go there just to rub it in the Patriots' face.
exactly. But
only team that can
Jamal
beat 'em.
Charles, he is still unsigned right now.
That poor man can't stay on 2 legs though.
You are very right. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if anybody's got an injury problem in this league, it is Jamal Charles. I mean,
And it's out there, you know. It's not like you can't even say let's just take a chance. No,
No,
you're not. You're
kind of a done
He will
deal
be
with him.
down for 3 to 6 weeks this year. He will be. That's what's going to happen.
okay,
with him.
well, Kansas City. I mean, what about them maybe trading up if they were able to get their hands on a Delvin Cook?
What will they get rid of?
Well, they need a cornerback too. They can sit
True.
there and take a
To Kansas City?
yeah. They can
They
take
have
a
a pretty decent
cornerback.
defense though, as is.
Well, someone to pair up with
It's
Marcus
top-
Peters.
Yeah, it's not a bad defense
Top
over there.
half, I would say, in
Yeah.
the league, right?
No, again, they're a good scoring defense too.
Yeah.
Their special teams coach does a great job for them.
I'm sure they wouldn't mind some more additions on defense. I mean,
Yeah.
fuck it, just go all out. Like, all right, this is all we're going to do on
Stack
offense.
up on
Let's just
it.
go ahead and get our defense so stout that teams have a hard time scoring more than 14 on us.
Yeah.
Type of old school Baltimore way of doing things.
I know one team that's going to be heavily watched tomorrow night is a team that doesn't get a lot of talk these days for good reason.
49ers?
Well, there's them too, but no, I was actually talking about the good old gangrene, the New York Jets. They've got
They kind of went into obscurity.
well, they've got a lot of questions too, though.
The whole team's a question.
Running backs, yeah, exactly. But running backs, quarterback,
dude thought he was going to be the future of the quarterback.
The guy from Baylor?
Fucking what's his goddamn
Geno
name?
Smith
Man?
or
No, not
Fitzpatrick?
Geno. Fitzpatrick. Well,
Yeah.
and Geno, but Fitzpatrick's like, I can't believe they benched me, and why would they do that?
Well,
because you threw 32 interceptions in 2.5 minutes.
All returned for
you got benched. Did you see that game?
Yeah.
It was hilarious. I was like, is this real life? What was that? And then you get upset because you got sidelined. I'm like, why would that make you mad? Be mad you threw 18 interceptions in one game.
What was Bryce Petty? That's what I'm thinking
His
of.
wife was talking shit on Twitter. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I remember that.
Shut your mouth.
Well, like,
what are you watching?
They drafted Bryce Petty a couple years ago, and at one point in time, they looked at that dude to be like kind of okay, this is the guy we're going to groom behind all these other people that we've drafted or picked up at.
We got Christian Hackenberg last year in the second round.
Yeah, and Christian
from Penn
Hackenberg,
State.
Yeah, and it's just a mess over there. I know I'm calling the pot the kettle black here a little bit, but
Did they get rid of Brandon Marshall?
Yes.
He's where's he at now?
He's in New York with OBJ.
with the Giants. Yeah, that's right. He's a Giant
because
he switched New York teams.
Jets, man.
There were those teams. It's like ESPN loves to talk about them, but
because
they haven't
it's
done
that New York media.
Yeah, they've been awful for forever.
Testaverde was their last great hope at quarterback.
The last real entertaining season the Jets had was that second year they had Mark Sanchez when they went to the AFC Championship.
Yeah.
In fact, the first 2 years they had Sanchez, they went to the AFC Championship.
Who was the Chad quarterback they had?
Chad Pennington.
That's him.
Yeah.
I wanted him to be great. I
Yeah.
used to draft him in fantasy. I thought, this guy's going to fucking take over. The world is his. No, it's not. It was okay, but it wasn't what they
And then
wanted
it
from
just
him.
fell
And what he
apart.
gave them was two different things. Like that one douchebag from Oregon that went to play for Detroit. What was his name?
Oh,
Joey.
Mike.
Joey.
No, well, Joey Harrington. He was the quarterback. I think.
Yeah, the guy he was from Oregon, right? And he went to play for Detroit.
Was it Blunt? I thought Blunt was the guy that punched him in the face.
No, well, I'm talking about the shitty quarterback that went to Detroit. I think it was Joey Harrington.
Oh yeah, Joey Harrington. Yeah.
That dude was abysmal. That was a fun. I drafted him in fantasy football. I never put a hand in that dude ever again. It was so horrible.
Who's a guy that no matter what, you always end up on your team? For me, it was like Reggie Bush for like every year, forever.
I'm gonna go back, but one of the Ishmael that played for Baltimore, is it not Quadri, but was it Quadri?
There's Rocket Ishmael and
The other one, the younger of the two. I think it was Quadri Ishmael.
Quadri.
That dude would not get off my fantasy football teams, man. I could not shake that dude, no matter what happened every year for about 5 years.
You seem to end up with Tony
He was
Romo a lot,
always on
too.
my team.
Golden Tate was mine.
Golden Tate.
I used to get him a lot, too.
He just
Golden
always
Tate.
ended up on my team for one reason or
I always
another.
got Kevin Falk too. It's like some sort of like, and Marshall Falk was playing at the time, so I was like, I always get the bum fuck. I don't want this fuck, man. I want the Marshall fuck, not this fucker.
You got the
I
wrong
always
fucking
got
guy.
Kevin Falk, man. I'm like, why is he always on my
I
team?
drafted the wrong fucking guy.
Kevin Falk was the
He just
third.
would not leave me alone.
He was the third down king for the Patriots, man.
He was. I mean, there'd be some games where everything was glorious, but I don't know why he was on my team.
Yeah, I always had either Pierre Thomas or Reggie Bush. I never knew which one to start. They'd always end up.
That would suck. Those days, man,
Yeah.
you wouldn't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah,
You couldn't start them both because then if they had a shit game, you lost.
Yeah, and that happened a lot. So I try to spread out my teams as much as possible.
You know what's to just walk away from that situation, dude. It's to trade them. It's like I'm done. I can't deal with this anymore.
I don't know, I've been burnt on so many trades lately, like especially in baseball. I've traded away Anthony Rizzo. I traded away Mookie Betts. Nolan Arenado, I didn't keep him, and those are like three of the top, players in the league.
I thought you knew baseball.
I don't, dude. I will say congratulations to Trey Turner for hitting for the cycle last night.
I heard that on the radio.
Yep. We've had two players hit for the cycle: Will Myers for the Padres and Trey Turner for the Nationals, and I got both of them. So.
A lot of
Nice.
guys
I'm still
from the
losing.
Asias are doing pretty well in pitching. I see that every time I'm driving home. Some guy
Yep.
with a name from Asia has done some like 6-inning no hitter, and it's getting serious and all that type of stuff.
Or you can pick up a guy and get -20, which I happen to do.
That sounds like a shit show.
The struggles of fantasy baseball.
Amir Garrett for the Reds, -20. He gave up
Excuse me.
9 runs. So that was our baseball talk for the night.
There's still one more baseball thing on the agenda, talking about
Yeah, actually,
local baseball.
local baseball. We were talking about. I mean, it's not the Montgomery Biscuits,
That's
but
fine.
they're cross-state rivals, I guess. The Pensacola Blue Wahoos here in our hometown. Their starting pitcher Tyler Mali, I believe is his name. He pitched a perfect game on the 22nd of April, which is just last week. He pitched a perfect game for the first time in Southern League history since 1970, I believe it is. And he did it against the Mobile Bay Bears, which I guess is like their arch rival, so to speak. Did it against the Bay Bears in their stadium, Hank Aaron Stadium, which I actually went to a game to when I was a wee lad back in the day.
Is that Lad Peoples?
No, Hank Aaron Stadium.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's right. You just said that.
2 different stadiums, bruh.
That's impressive, man.
No, that is very impressive. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I've unfortunately never seen the Wahoos win, so of course they're doing well now. And to have a perfect game and minor league baseball is great. I'm sure he'll be pitching for the Reds sooner than later.
No, the Pensacola Blue Wahoos are actually having a pretty all right season, from what I understand. I'm trying to find. Yeah, here they are. In fact, they're first in the south part of the Southern League. They're 14-6 right now, and the team below them in their division is the Mobile Bay Bears, who they beat in that game. That game was close too. It was 1-0.
Mm-hmm. And they actually have 2 championships per season. They have a first half championship and a second half where everything actually just resets.
In fact, if looking at the standings right now, the Pensacola Blue Wahoos are atop of the entire league. They're standing 14-6. Second place would be in the North Division. I don't know who the Jackson Mississippi team. They are 13-6. They're just a game behind them. The Tennessee team out there is 12-8. Your Montgomery Biscuits stand at 10-8, and the Mobile Bay Bears are at a 500 with 10-10. So, but anyways, congratulations to that young man from the Wahoos. That's really fucking cool. That I mean, pitching a perfect game is pretty rare, even in Major League Baseball. So, doing the minor league, especially for it being the first time and since before I was born, that's pretty fucking cool. And like I said, it's just a rare thing to happen. I mean, you don't have to be a baseball fan to know that it's rare. It's more rare than getting a shutout in hockey. But yes, also onto a little bit more. CJ, I hope you can help me out with this because I only just recently found out.
Hello, Courtney.
Yeah.
Moving on to a little bit more baseball news. Derek Jeter, former New York Yankee. It seems like his life just seems to keep going well for him. Not having not retired with billions of dollars, but he is now a owner of the Miami Marlins. He won a bid to buy that team, which is technically a new franchise. The Florida Marlins have been around for a long time, but as a Miami Marlins, they're a brand new franchise in a relatively new stadium.
I mean, they've been around for a little while, but yeah.
The Miami Marlins is less than 10-year-old franchise, right? Like,
they won a couple World Series.
The Miami Marlins?
The Florida Marlins.
Yeah, I'm talking about since they became the Miami Marlins.
Yeah, I don't believe that was an expansion. I think that was just technically a name change.
Yeah, they just changed names.
Oh, I thought it was new ownership and well, I guess definitely new ownership now.
Well, they signed a bunch of big free agents.
And I mean, they played a
few years ago. And they didn't pan out. Then they traded them all the way to the Blue Jays, actually.
That's what they do, right?
Yeah. Well,
buy, don't work out, sell. Buy, win everything, sell.
Before the Cubs won this past year.
Or the Braves, buy, develop, sell.
Yeah.
They had 2 World Series championship rings before the Cubs had even sniffed the playoffs, And what they did is they got rid of all their players. Now they got arguably one of the best players in the league in Giancarlo Stanton. And until he died, they had one of the up-and-coming young pitchers.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they're a team that could do some damage if they ever get everything right. I mean, they got a lot of young talent. Marcell Ozuna is a beast at outfield for him to go along with Stanton. So, and
Don't
Jeter
drive motorboats high on coke in the middle of the night.
Yep. And, Jeter,
sounds like a good time.
obviously he's got money. And
he burned and died.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's,
that guy.
It's much like, Magic
I didn't know he was high on coke.
It's much like Magic Johnson buying an interest in the Dodgers. It's a face, you know what I mean? A face that's synonymous with baseball, and it helps put
butts in seats.
That's right. Asses in the seats, man.
The Tim Tebow effect, so to speak, as we call it now.
Who's he buying it with?
Some guy.
Yeah.
No, it's not some guy. It's like a major guy.
I don't know.
It wasn't the first name in
major
the article.
guy, was it?
It was Derek Jeter and another person. I just in the
guy
article I read it was Derek
It's
Jeter.
arguably as known as Derek Jeter, if not more so. But yet here we are. I can't remember his fucking name.
Yeah. Completely off topic, but I just read it down there. Dale Earnhardt retired.
Dan Earnhardt Jr.?
Yeah.
He retired?
Not senior because he's dead.
Yes,
Well, yeah,
that's true.
he is very dead, yes.
Yeah.
But so Dale,
the alive
so,
Dale
yeah,
Earnhardt.
So for the first time ever in the underground sports shows, underground pub shows, 33 episodes, we have mentioned NASCAR finally.
Yep, it's
So-
about time.
You know, I mean,
Hendricks Motorsports is the best team in NASCAR. I'll just say that.
I've never been able to get into NASCAR. I never have been, but I will say this: I would love to go to a race.
Yeah, I hear it's
I
awesome
would love
live.
to go to a race.
Yeah.
I will find me a favorite driver before the race if I have to.
Yeah,
Like,
the,
I mean,
the
Mine used to be
pre-race
Mark
stuff
Martin.
is like Mardi Gras-esque is what I hear.
Jeb
Yeah.
Bush. Jeb Bush.
Yeah, Jeb Bush is the
other.
yeah.
really,
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Like,
former
I can't
governor.
remember his
the
name.
politician?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
I'll be damned.
Related to
Yes.
the president,
Yeah, the former
president.
Yeah. Makes one of the best guacamole makers you
Yeah.
can ever buy.
Really,
The Jeb Bush guac maker.
that's a real thing.
Google it when you get home.
I'm about to Google it
Watch
right now.
his video of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. He made his own guac maker thing.
Because I
you
love me a
wanna
good
call in and
guac.
talk
bro.
Apparently,
about
it's pretty
Jeb Bush's
outstanding.
guac maker.
Hell yeah.
Give us a call 850-907.
So not only does he own the Miami Marlins,
He actually was
but-
during one of his like debate things. He actually brought it up and told everyone where to buy it at.
well, I'll be damned. How about that?
Enough about this foreign issue. I gotta talk about guacamole.
That's how it
real
went
quick.
down. Guac bowl merchants. They kept calling them for like a couple months. The guac bowl merchant.
That's awesome. So
Nice.
So yeah, baseball is still going on. Unfortunately, CJ's Blue Jays are still not looking too hot.
6-14, so
6
they're
and 14.
they're on the
That's
upswing.
shit.
They have the exact opposite record of the Pensacola Blue Wives, who hold a 14-6 record.
Yeah, well, they could probably beat the Blue Jays right now. Of course,
I don't
Josh
know about
Donaldson's. No, yeah, Josh Donaldson is hurt. So
Yeah, that's
I
definitely.
thought
gonna do
one
it, man.
player doesn't make a difference.
when he's the former MVP, yeah,
I said that about
baseball
defense.
is more one
So-
player like can make a
I
difference.
know what you're about to say, and I'm just gonna go ahead and interrupt you and say
Can
this.
I?
Look,
Go ahead.
no, you know, go ahead. Actually,
No,
you go ahead.
you go ahead. You're in a thought. Go.
And I was in a thought because I don't believe if your defense is already bad, I don't believe that one single player is going to go in and change all that.
So one player, but CJ thinks that one baseball player will change his bad Blue Jays. when he
Two
comes
different
back.
sports
I mean, it would
completely.
definitely help getting his back.
Two
back
different
into
Do they,
the
sports
lineup.
I didn't
completely.
know they considered only were one player sport. Is baseball one player?
Okay,
sport? Is
look.
it-
Look how good the Cleveland Cavaliers are. If LeBron James goes down, that team doesn't even make the playoffs.
That's 5 players on the court at one time. At the same time,
There's only
moving
one
back and
guy
forth.
batting
One
at
guy
one
can
time.
outmuscle other. Baseball, you have defense and offense, and if you're out here playing defense, your pitcher is not going to help you out. But LeBron James is on the court the entire time during the offense. He never leaves the court. He's going back and forth the whole time. But in baseball, you don't get to be playing defense, but then you're done. Then you're hitting the ball. If you're a pitcher, you're pitching, but you don't get to go out there and help defense and catch and all that shit. It's
CJ cared to,
interchanging. Basketball, everyone's playing the position.
Nah,
Everyone's
I'm
moving back
just
and forth.
enjoying this.
That was a horrible depiction of the game of baseball, Bobo. I just want to put
Baseball.
that shit
I
out
mean,
there.
I honestly thought it was
in
kind of funny,
baseball,
but-
a person in the outfield does not help out with a ball that gets hit towards the pitcher. He's not going to do anything. But in basketball, everyone is there. It's a smaller court, it's a smaller field. You could all get involved in every play possible.
See-
in baseball, there's some people in right field might even do anything the entire game. They just sit there the whole
See
fucking
now,
game
now that I
and
knew where you were
not do
going
a
with this
damn
rant,
thing.
now that I knew where you were going with this rant,
Dude,
I totally
Manny
support it.
Ramirez will
Like-
walk into the fucking goddamn box and change the scores from shit for people during the game because no one hit over to worry with that. He just go there and put the new score up for them and
on the,
hang out and have a beer and eat fried chicken.
on the
They
li-
ate fried chicken during games and ice cream and drank beer during baseball games for years in Boston and won a pennant doing that. Please tell me you can do that in basketball or football. Please tell me you can do
Mark
that.
Sanchez was eating a hot dog on
a
the
guy
side.
That was against the Raiders, too, by the way.
on our live chat, Greg actually asked, "Pitchers don't help with defense?" ?
Not the ball goes to the outfield. What's the pitcher do then? Does he run out there and catch it in the right
Well,
field?
what does the center do if a ball's passing deep down the
Nothing.
field?
That's what I'm saying.
The
But
pitcher
in
runs
basketball,
to help
if
get
the
outs.
ball gets bounced inbound too short, the entire team can come up and make a play on that ball. Everyone can make a play on a ball in basketball. If it gets tipped or whatever, everyone's in the basket. They can all make a play on it. It's not like rebound. So half everyone's like,
outfielder
we're
fields,
down here. We can't go over there because we're down here underneath our own goals. So we got to sit here and wait because we can't go there and assist and help
That's
out with the
bullshit.
rebound.
Because what if an outfielder fields a ground ball and then he throws into his relay man and then his relay?
Okay, well then you're making a play.
Right, exactly.
Oh, there you go.
It's still multiple people making a defensive play.
How often does that happen?
3-4 times a game, maybe?
Oh, it just happens every second of a basketball game.
I don't know what's going on.
If I make a shot and the ball doesn't go into the basket and gets rebounded, two guys aren't sitting there in the court like, well, I wish I could go down there and help, but I got to sit here because I'm in the outfield. No, motherfucker, they're down there on the rebound too. That's what I'm saying. There are players in baseball that do absolutely nothing for an entire game sometimes, is what I'm saying.
So if you
don't do anything.
If you're ever wondering why...
No, it's not.
If you're ever wondering why Bobo's not really a baseball fan,
some guys
it has been explained.
There are batters who have a 1.2 average and still play the game of baseball. That is a .12 or a .15. And,
like 100?
No, it's like you're like betting for 12%. You're betting for 12%. And you're still in the major leagues.
Yeah, Jose Bautista.
You don't
terrible so
hit
far.
Anything. And how do you get a paycheck for that? That is so shit.
An expensive one for that.
Because at one point they were good.
Why? No, they're not. Obviously, they're shit. They could be in the outfield and make no catches and hit one ball a month, and they're getting paid millions of dollars.
Baseball players go through ruts, man. You can't just bench them because they're going through a rut because they'll never make it
again.
out.
Again, in basketball, if the motherfucker gets cold, he's out that game instantly. You pull him out and you put your sixth man. In baseball, he's in a rut. He'll warm up next game. That's all right. You're in a bit of a pitcher rut. Let me talk to you in pitcher man right quick. Hey man, how's your wife doing? How's kids? Hey, let me talk your ass a little bit. That shit doesn't fucking. What is that? It makes no sense to me. Baseball is dumb. It's just a dumb sport. It's like drunk cricket.
All right, we've got a caller. Hopefully, it's nobody that works with the Blue Jays. I'm pretty sure we just shot that in the foot right there. All right, what's up? You're on the Underground Pub Show with Schreiber, CJ, and Bobo. Who is this?
Finally,
there he is.
Boy has come back home.
Nice. What's up?
What's up, Leroy? How you doing?
Thanks for interrupting.
We actually missed a call right
well,
before
I certainly am not working for the
damn
Blue
it, Kenny.
Wahoos, that's for sure, buddy.
You what?
They'll let it ring like
You're
twice
safe.
and they hung up.
Nice. Well, hey, what's going on, man? Yeah, what is your take on this whole baseball is dumb, and I don't even know what the hell I just listened to for 5 minutes?
Man, I'm so wrapped up in the NBA right now. I don't know which way to look, man.
That was actually about to be our next.
Thanks for answering the question. That was the perfect answer to the question. Sorry, can't discuss baseball with you right now because I'm watching the basketball games. Exactly. Thanks.
Well, you can only focus on one sport at a time, fellas.
That's not true. This is like the perfect.
It is that the other sport is baseball.
This show has proven time and again that we can focus on 10
league.
10 things at one time and have no issues with it.
Yeah, exactly. So I know I was paying attention to once the Bulls lost Rondo, they've gone downhill, and the Celtics are back in the series. So
yeah, they're trying to get back in there anyway.
Well, the Bulls are winning 81-79, so I wouldn't be so quick to jump to that conclusion that the Bulls are out and the Celtics are in.
Well, no, I mean it's tied 2-2, and a 3-pointer can change that score in a second.
Leroy, let's get your take on this. We talked a little bit about this last week, but I think this question is a little bit more prevalent now. NBA MVP. Do you believe Russell Westbrook throughout the season still made a good enough campaign for MVP, or is it looking like it's going to James Harden?
So this is the old Spinneroonie, huh? I got you, brother.
Russell Westbrook.
Every bit of backlash you got for that.
Nice.
I believe Russell Westbrook should be the MVP too. I really do. I mean, it was a one-man show over there at OKC, and he carried that team as far as he could. I mean, honestly, I feel like whoever's in charge of the Oklahoma City Thunder that needs a spanking or something. I mean, in the last 4 years, you've lost Kevin Durant and James Harden.
The thing about basketball is like a motherfucker cries enough.
Who cares?
They're gonna trade him.
4 years ago.
They'll just cry until they get traded. That's the thing about basketball. They probably didn't want to get rid of him. They probably want to keep him, but you keep crying, but you want to go here and there. Eventually, they always get their way.
Truth could be said about most sports, really.
I don't know, man. Sometimes, but I see a lot more in basketball. I see a lot more in basketball than any other sport where dudes just cry their way to another team.
Greg on the live chat seems to agree with us that it's Russell Westbrook for the MVP. I'm in agreement too. CJ, what you think about that? I mean,
I like Harden.
I like James Harden too, but his team is better. His team is overall better. Russell Westbrook was the Oklahoma City Thunder this year. I mean, they had some all right players on that team, whatever. But I mean, if Russell Westbrook was on that team, they fucking might have been the worst team in the NBA this season.
Probably.
Where James Harden where I honestly think the Houston Rockets NBA Finals contender. I don't know about that, but
they can make it.
I do believe though. I do believe they could at least make it to the their
Rockets
conference
can
finals.
make it all to the end. I think.
Leroy, who you got? Who's your team, man?
Jimmy Butler and the Bulls, man.
Yeah,
that's a bold statement right there, man.
You still like him?
No, it's not.
Oh, you mean just the team that you just the team that you like? I thought you meant like your actual pick for the NBA Finals.
I think that's his.
I think that's what he was saying.
That's his
The
pick.
Chicago Bulls.
I don't want to speak for him, but I think that's what he's saying.
Okay, that. Then I mean, I like it. A little bold, but I like it.
Good Lord Almighty.
You don't think losing Rondo
I
is
like
going to
Jimmy
hurt?
Butler, man. He's a badass.
Yeah, he's a badass, but they lost.
He'll be MVP. He'll be MVP of the year. When it's all said and done.
You think Butler's going to be the MVP this year?
I'm going to go ahead and disagree on that. Going to go ahead and disagree on that.
I'd like to you guys ask for verification. Hold on.
No, I mean, I love you, Leroy, but I don't agree with you at all.
Yeah, it's James Harden or Russell Westbrook. It's one of those two.
Well,
Yep.
Leroy says this.
Okay.
Know your role and shut your mouth.
You should have.
Leroy says this. Jimmy Butler's gonna take it all the way home. He's gonna take the Bulls to the NBA Finals. He's gonna win. He's gonna get MVP.
Oh, so he's going to be finals MVP.
Playoffs MVP?
No. Are you talking about like the regular season MVP or like the finals MVP?
No,
I'm kinda lost on
I'm talking
something.
about a pair of double D's, man.
By the way, apparently we had a caller earlier that
Yeah,
we
I'm
missed. If
talking
you
about the
are
regular
still watching,
season.
call back.
I'm talking
Not to
about
cut
the
off
finals,
Leroy.
bub.
That's exactly what that was meant to do.
Leroy, I don't see it happening, bud.
That's
Yeah,
my name.
I don't either.
That's it. It's Leroy.
All right.
All right, well, thank you, Leroy, for calling, buddy. We'll talk to you later, man.
Thanks for calling, Leroy.
Oh, okay, never mind.
All right, fellas.
Peace
Later,
out, buddy.
buddy.
Later, dude.
Bye.
Always a pleasure having Leroy on the show.
I accidentally cut him off before the Baba Boo. We kind of feel
Yeah.
bad about that.
Yeah, it's okay.
What, Jimmy Butler, really? Man.
No, that's not
Apparently-
happening. But
No, he's good. I like the Bulls.
Yeah. Well, I know. I mean, we're still in the middle of round one in the NBA playoffs right now. I mean, I know the Cavs got the clean sweep on the Pacers. The fuck are you looking at?
I just got a friend invite. My son's tied me up and used me like a cheap whore. I loved it. I'm waiting a man in Snapchat account 21 plus.
Sounds fake.
And
Anyways.
you think this is not a real person?
I had a fake one.
Annie Wang
Wada.
Annie Wang Wada.
Okay,
Annie
that was worth mentioning. I'll go ahead and give you that one.
Yeah.
I am a man.
With,
I'm waiting a man in my Snapchat
And she
account.
has an upside down cross tattoo between her tits to like make sure or let you know that she has a little bit of
You know
edge
what?
to her.
Fucking right in the pussy.
I will say this. This person that created this account actually went and got 2 picks.
Yeah.
Dude.
Nice.
You don't normally see that in these Facebook hijacker
These
account
these
guys.
Facebook hijacking
He
accounts.
went and got multiple pictures for you at the background and the foreground. I give him big ups on that.
Heard that?
There you go.
Okay.
Nicely done in your hack job. Unfortunately, your English is shit, and it's obvious that you don't want us, not to get too into this, but one of the fun things I like to do is to see who no one befriended them. But you
Yeah.
see that one friend you have is like, dude, stop.
Yeah,
You're the
you-
reason
you-
why
you
they
want-
find me because you accept all these
If you want to
people,
message them and be like, "Stop it! They're not
and-
real.
yeah,
You douche."
and then they're inviting me because I'm a friend of yours.
John will be able to attest to the fact that for us, it's usually one of the guys from a local band called Rise Up Lights.
No comment. Anyway,
Any way to Wong besides
Any Wang
Yeah.
Wada.
Any Wang Wada.
bad
did you
news
guys
over there.
see what Deshaun? I think it's Deshaun Kaiser for the
Chiefs?
No. He's the Notre Dame quarterback, and he came out saying that not only he has confidence, mind you, not only is he going to be a great quarterback, but he's going to be the greatest quarterback of all time. and he said if you take Tom Brady's preparation and put it in the body of Cam Newton, that's what he's going to be.
Who?
Deshaun Kaiser for
That
Notre Dame.
that would be some confidence.
Yeah, that's what he's
How
come
many
out.
of these predictions are right though?
Yeah, but he
not
got
a
killed
prediction,
for it.
it's
But
just it
that's
That
what
would
he's.
sound
Frame
amazing.
it.
It would be amazing if that
Yeah.
was true. That's another person to draft in fantasy, but
When was the
So-
last time a great quarterback came out of Notre
That was-
Dame?
Joe Montana.
has there been no one since?
I don't believe so.
I mean, I can't.
Not exactly been
Yeah.
a program on the rise lately either.
No,
I
I,
can't
mean
think of
not
They
si-
were for a minute, and they fired old dude and hired Fat Man.
Yeah.
Ty Willingham, and then fired. No, not
What?
Ty. What's his name? Is it? Is that his name?
Ty Willingham, and then it went
Yeah, what's
to
Ty Willingham? And they hired Fat Man.
yeah.
So
for the
I
Patriots.
don't know about
who
Homeboy's
they're still
predictions.
paying money to. Everyone's still paying to do money. It's not even work anywhere.
Yeah,
Isn't that amazing?
I'm not sure about Homeboy's predictions. I mean, if it happens, then more fucking power to him. But
Has
I
anyone
would-
ever
Yeah.
predicted? It's probably hard for us to remember this, but has anyone ever predicted someone in the draft and someone goes, "This guy's going to be this," and he was that?
Cam Newton.
Was he predicted? As
He was
supposed
the
to be like,
he was the first overall pick. A lot of people thought that he was
but
going
there are
to.
people predicting this guy's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, all I kept hearing was about how great Cam Newton was going to be, and I mean,
because I heard. Well, I remember
ultimately,
hearing
he's done
it was
pretty
like,
fucking well.
it was kind of like people on the fence, like he's a troublemaker and he's going to do this, and that.
I
and all
think
that
I think a lot of
stuff.
that was tongue in cheek comments or whatever. Just
A lot
because
of that was because he was
Yeah.
black.
Yeah,
I
get that a lot.
Cam Newton's black.
I don't believe that for a single bit. I think it was.
Oh, I do. I believe there's a lot of racist
Yeah.
rhetoric that goes
I
on.
was
I
totally
know
on the
there's
I know
mothers.
Andrew Luck was supposed to be like.
There's mothers
big
against
guy.
stabbing that was created in Charlotte.
Now
The
that's fucking
Facebook
retarded
group.
right there. That's fucking.
I'm
Because
against
they
stabbing.
because they thought it was a gang affiliated. Well, that's what they said in order to be able to
Mothers
say it.
against dabbing.
Yes,
I'm
it was
against
a
it because
group,
it's fucking
dude.
stupid.
Mothers against.
Yeah,
That's awesome. That's fucking awesome.
Only in the South. Only
I
in the
know,
South.
right? It's like-
Andrew Luck was pretty like
he was highly touted too.
highly
And
touted.
I think he's highly average garbage.
Yeah,
think
he's okay.
I'm not his biggest fan.
He's had a shit
I-
offensive line. last year.
I used to really like Andrew Luck, and I thought he had a good couple. I
would never
first
draft him in
seasons, but
fantasy.
no, now
No.
he's been on the decline. But as CJ did mention, he has had a pretty weak offensive line. But
That team's never had a good line, have they?
I mean, it-
can't ever
when,
remember that
Manning
they
was
had a
there.
yeah,
good
but it
line.
was fair when
Mr.
Manning was
Saturday?
there.
Yeah. I don't know.
So I
like,
mean, I don't know. I don't know.
but the preparation of Tom Brady in Cam Newton's body. I mean, that's
But like I said, I mean, more power to him if he really feels that
well,
way.
I mean,
I
the
can't wait to see
preparation
this
of
guy
Tom
play
Brady
next
and Tom Brady's body is fine.
year. Yeah.
That seems to do the ticket, you know.
I kind of know why.
works.
I kind of know what the purpose was of saying in Cam Newton's body. Like, is he as tall as Cam Newton? I mean,
I don't think so.
like, I mean, I don't know.
He's
I mean,
black.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Jesus. Okay. Cool.
Oh well, all power to you. I want to see where
Yeah.
you land.
Yeah, fair enough.
They have him like kind of around like after Trubisky and Deshaun Watson and then the Patrick Mahomes for Texas Tech. A lot of people like him, and I've actually seen some mocks where the Cardinals trade up to 32 with us
Yeah.
to get that
But
quarterback.
more to my point I was making though, is like you never hear anyone go out, step out the box and say, this guy Roethlisberger is going to be probably one of the most dominant quarterbacks in the league, and he's going to win multiple Super Bowls before
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
even in the league in 4 years. No one said that shit.
No.
Or even Drew Brees. I didn't hear that much hype for Drew Brees when
He
he came
went
out.
in the second round.
And people were talking about other folks around him. Just stuff like that. No one ever really. I mean, yeah, Cam Newton's gonna be great. The number one pick overall. This won the national championship. Okay.
See, I
go
remember,
out there with that bold prediction. But
I remember hearing a lot of positive things about Cam Newton. I mean, he ultimately, even in his first couple seasons at Carolina, the team didn't necessarily look good, but he did.
yeah,
Like,
I'm just
I mean-
saying. I want to see a guy make a real bold prediction.
Heard.
I mean, to say something like some late round
Yeah.
guy call it.
Well, like,
That'd be
even
right.
even Reggie Bush, I remember when he was drafted by the Saints. I mean, people looked at
I
him.
expected him to be a phenomenal
People
player.
looked at him as the savior, not Drew Brees, not Sean
Yeah.
Payton. They looked at him to be the savior.
He was supposed to be the next. I mean, he had his moments.
No, Reggie. The funny thing about Reggie moment. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but when it comes with him and his career with the Saints, which is hands down his best part of his career in the NFL,
Yeah.
he was either hot garbage or unstoppable.
Yeah.
I mean, and the perfect example of that
Or
was-
unstoppable, then all of a sudden hot garbage because something broke on him. And
Yeah. Like in the 2009 season when the Saints won the Super Bowl, easily the guy's best year. I mean, he had games where it was like he wasn't even there. Like, I forgot he was on the team. And then the next week, the guy would put 2 punt returns back for a touchdown and have a 40-yard breakout. Like, he was just a weird guy like that.
He's unsigned right now. Am I correct in saying that?
He's probably going to remain unsigned. I can't see why somebody would want to take a gamble on Reggie Bush.
The Rams. He was suing the St. Louis arena.
Suing them?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because of the injury. Yeah.
Yeah, because he got injured. He's a free agent.
He's suing the St. Louis Rams because back in St. Louis.
The stadium because when he ran out of bounds
and it fucked him up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do remember. I remember that game.
Good.
I remember that game happening, but I don't remember hearing about
If that's
the
a fact that the stadium itself causes injury and he's suing them, I hope he wins to make people maintain their shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I mean,
isn't that right, Oakland?
I would like to see that happen, Oakland.
Yeah. I just picked a random team that needed to fix their stadium.
That's the best baseball field in the history of football.
In the history of football, heard.
My favorite random injury was in a preseason game when the Saints had Adrian Peterson against the Titans, and the mascot pretty much ended his career by running him over with a golf cart.
Oh yeah,
I remember seeing that on video,
God, how long ago was that?
Forever. I mean, it was Adrian McPherson.
Yeah.
I mean, that was 2004, 2005.
Yeah. I knew it was before I graduated high school,
because he was okay for Florida State, and then he got on the Saints, and then the mascot for the Titans took him out.
That is a very Saint-like thing to happen for that era of that team, right there. Draft somebody good up there, Jed. Like that's very Saint-like for that era of that team. But yeah, we're gonna be wrapping up the show here soon. But let's swing back real quick before we end the show. Let's swing back to the NBA for a minute. So I mean, with the way we're looking at how things are going, Bobo, last week you said you're still looking at homegirl with the upside down cross.
Her son's tied her up and used her like a cheap whore. Why would their sons do that? That's incestuous.
But so Bobo, are you still sticking by what you said last week? Right now, you said you like Houston. Don't know if all the pieces are there, but you so far are kind of sold on Cleveland. I mean, do you still feel the same way?
I don't know. My pendulum is slightly ticking towards Houston, but I'm still gonna say Cleveland.
What about Golden State?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Even with a healthy Kevin Durant, or supposedly healthy?
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I don't think so though.
Yeah. Well, what about you, CJ?
I could be wrong. Probably am.
What, for the finals?
I mean, but between those 3 teams I just mentioned, I mean, Houston Rockets are looking pretty promising right now. Cleveland is looking Cleveland. I mean, what are you feeling between those 2 teams?
I'd say Houston beats Cleveland in the series.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Beats Cleveland. How many games?
6.
6.
Yes. Houston's a good team, man.
I'm not disputing that. Yeah.
Cleveland's the only team in the East that can beat anybody in the West, but I can name 4 teams in the West that could easily win.
You think the Celtics could?
No.
No? What about Chicago?
No.
No? Okay.
I literally don't think anybody in the East besides the Cavs can win it all.
Fair enough. Okay. I was just curious. Not really a lot to talk about in the NHL playoffs right now. Round 2 just started tonight. I know at one point in time the Nashville Predators were winning against the St. Louis Blues, who the Nashville Predators had a pretty major upset against the Chicago Blackhawks. We were talking about that last week, about how the Blackhawks were on the brink of getting eliminated, and spoiler, they got eliminated.
Yeah, sucks.
Well, I mean, that's actually 2 years in a row now. The Chicago Blackhawks went into the playoffs as a favorite and got beat in the first round, but not swept like this. And the Predators are actually tied at 3 right now with the Blues. But
go hockey.
Excuse me. The Washington Capitals, they did finally end up closing the series against the Toronto Maple Leafs last week, and unfortunately for Ovi and the Capitals, they will be facing the Pittsburgh Penguins in round 2 of the Eastern Conference playoffs. So that's bad news for the Caps. Me and CJ were talking about this before we came over here. The Penguins, when healthy, are about as scary as a team as the Patriots are when they're not even healthy. Sidney Crosby is just that much better than everybody. It doesn't matter what team he plays for, whether it's Team Canada or his Pittsburgh Penguins. He always stands out and gets the job done. So, I mean, in the Capitals have had many, many years of bad luck with the Penguins. So I would love, big Capitals fan right now, I would love to see them pull the upset on the Penguins. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up. Tomorrow night is the NFL draft. We want to hear from you guys about how your team did in the draft, and we want to hear if you're happy about it. We especially want to hear if you're unhappy
You
about
can
it.
post on the page too to let
Yes.
us know, and
Yes, you can.
we'll address your comments if you post them on the page,
Please do. We would love to hear from you from that.
because no one does.
Yeah,
And that's what it's there for you.
That's what it's there. It's there for you to
The
talk
people.
to us.
Yeah, assholes, come on.
There's a Twitter that nobody uses too, including the guys that are on the show.
Yeah, I set
I've
it up.
never-
I don't really use Twitter
I've
except
never
for
set it
like
up and then
before in my
stop
life.
worrying
to
about
like
it.
check out porn stars to see what they're doing and what their dogs are doing.
Yeah.
But their dogs are. Do porn star dogs have
stars'
really
post
like?
files are fucking dogs.
do they have really
all
good lives?
goddamn day?
Do porn star dogs like have like legitimate like good lives? Like
I'm
Actually,
sure porn stars probably make a good
Bonnie
money.
Rotten's dog is. I would be Bonnie Rotten's dog.
yeah,
She's
Bonnie
a Raiders
Rodden.
fan, by the way.
What about
A Ra-
Malia Khalifa?
Bonnie
I'm
Rodden's
sure
a
she has
Raiders
dog.
fan, huh?
I know that I've seen her. I see their lives on Twitter.
Do you remember that white rapper girl, Krayshawn?
Krayshawn, Little
She-
Debbie, and V Nasty.
Krayshawn, she was a Raiders fan, and in her video, I remember she got a lot of shit for this because there's a lyric in her big song that she had where she says Oakland City representing, and she holds a chain up, and on the chain was a Chicago Blackhawks logo. And she said Oakland City representing, and like I remember like the internet just came down on this broad about it. And ironically, a week later, her nudes got released.
I think a lot of things.
I swear to God, you can't make that shit up.
Like there was a nude.
She actually
nude release
lived.
panic
The
button.
thing is, though, she
Yeah.
actually lived in Oakland, so it was fair enough to say that they probably were Oakland fans.
No, I mean I get that, but it was the way she went about it. I mean,
Fair enough.
she held up a chain that had the Chicago Blackhawks logo on it, and so meaning she probably just doesn't.
or
didn't
probably
know what
someone
she-
just filmed it on some other completely
Well,
unrelated thing.
No, because she was repeating the lyric as she said Oakland City represent like.
Well, then I don't know anymore.
Yeah, because
I
that
can't
again,
save
John?
her.
no, I'm not gonna
Come
do
on,
that
dude.
again.
I
Oakland
can't-
City represent.
No,
I
exactly,
can't
because I
say
felt
it.
horrible doing it. I felt horrible doing that. But no, that shit happened, and then like literally a week later, when like every like pissed off Raiders fans and pissed off Blackhawks fans for that matter were coming down on this girl like, oh, this bitch sucks, and then boom, her nudes were released, and not bad nudes, by the way. But yeah, so that's about Krayshawn and her Oakland City representing. This weekend, I will be going to Welcome to Rockville Fest in Jacksonville, seeing the likes of Soundgarden, A Perfect Circle, In Flames, Mastodon. I'm really fucking excited about it. I'm going to be shooting live while I'm at the festival. I know it's not sports related, but it's kind of a big deal. It's the largest music festival in the state of Florida, so I'm excited to be there. I'm going to be seeing a lot of good friends there. So y'all look on my page and the Underground Pub Shows page for my updates from Welcome to Rockville Fest this weekend in Jacksonville. So until then, thank y'all very much for tuning in to the Underground Pub Show. My name is Schreiber, Bobo, and CJ, and our producer Kenny. We will see y'all next week.
Baseball's stupid.
Whatever, dude. So honestly, what do you like better, golf or baseball?
Baseball because it's one golf. It's one man.
Tune in every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Central Time for the Underground Pub Show, right here on the Pimpy K Multiverse Network.